Hey everybody, Mr. Lambert here. I'm not going to talk about photosynthesis today, and I know that's making you really upset. I'm sorry. Actually, what we're going to be talking about today is coding or programming. Coding or programming is actually the process of telling a computer what to do. Now, I know you can tell Siri what to do and she will actually do it for you, but in the background of what you see on the screen when you look at the internet or even when you log on to your family desktop computer at home and look at Windows, behind the scenes, if you were to get into the code of it, you'd see lots of words that don't make much sense. Actually, all those words are made up of lots of smaller pieces of information. Actually, the smallest piece of information is the on and off. Now, that's called a bit in computer programming, and it's literally a tiny little switch inside your computer that turns on or off. That's how computers work. There are literally millions and billions and trillions of little switches inside that are turning on and off at your command. But you know that you don't run down when you want to switch from, say, Canvas to YouTube. You don't run down a long hallway turning light switches on and off billions and billions of times. So how does this work? Well, back when we had the very first computers, the ons and offs, the bits, were put into chunks of 8, and those 8s were called bytes. Now actually, the very first video game systems worked on a series of 16 on and off switches. Colors were real limited and there wasn't a whole lot you could do. The computer screens looked like tiny little blocks, but if you've ever seen an 8-bit or a 16-bit video game, that's what that means. The sections were set into bits of 8 for each set of code. 16-bit, of course, got more bits of code, more on and off switches. And then you got to 64 bits, and now we have bits and bits and bits and bytes. So, again, the bit is the on and off switch. A byte is just 8 of those on and off switches put together. But because we don't run down a hallway turning switches on and off, we have to have something that does that for us. Case in point, in a regular computer, you either have megabytes or gigabytes. Now, you might send a file that's, let's say 100 megabytes. Well, just one of those megabytes is 1 million times 8 of these little on and off switches. 8 million little ons and offs. If you have something that's 1 gigabyte, say you have a thumb drive that's 1 gigabyte, it's actually pretty small for today. Your iPhone or your Android phone probably holds way more gigabytes than that, but that's 8 billion on and off switches inside your phone. So we're not turning all those on and off at one time. So what do we do? Well, computer programmers back in the day figured out words that were universal across all languages that would tell bits and bytes, groups of on and off switches to group together and do something all at once really fast. This is how we got the first computer programming languages. The computer programming languages are made up basically of words which we called commands. Commands might tell like 12 on and off switches to turn on or off in a certain configuration, and your computer would do a specific thing. These were like go left. Actually, the little keyboard buttons on your keyboard, they actually send programming commands to your screen and tell it what to do, whether it be left and right, whether it be to type a number on the screen or a letter. That all works with code. But if we just had commands, we would have to be doing those things that you see where you've got lots and lots and lots of lines of code to do just simple things. Programming coders take a long time to do simple things on computers, but if you take those programming commands and then you start to loop them, because we don't want to do different things all the time. Actually, on computers, we want to do generally the same thing over and over and over again, or groups of things over and over and over again. So what we can do is create what's called a function. Now, a function is just a group of programming commands all put together. Remember, those commands are just bytes of information, which are made up of the little on and off bits all put together. So basically, when we write these, we're taking chunks of code that tell the computer exactly what to do. One little thing, it's like turn right, turn left, go up, go down, those types of things. Really simple things for the computer to do, which are the commands, which are made up, of course, of chunks of on and off switches, 8 of those being a byte, 1 of those being a bit. But with a function allows you to take those commands, put them in chunks, and do things over and over and over again. So what we're going to watch a video here in just a second from a program called Codable. It's going to tell you a little bit more about functions, what they are, how they work, and then you're going to go into code.org today and you are going to try some functions, creating some functions on your own. I hope you have fun with it. If you got questions, make sure to let us know, but most of all, just have some fun with this today. All right, we'll talk to you later.